It's absolutely true. We have been so busy here at Hot Off the Press and Paper Wishes. We're making brand new things, and that's what this week of Webisodes is all about.
It is.
Hot off the press, day after day.
Another week of Webisodes, and this is the Stamp a Garden stamp set. It's so much fun. We're going to show you how.
Come play with us. Well, here it is. Now, this is all the things you need to do a garden without getting your fingers dirty. Well, fingers dirty and dirt.
Without getting your fingers in the dirt. Right, and it's just loaded with 39 clear silicone stamps with greetings. I love these. Thanks a bunch. That's so sweet. Just for you. Happy greetings. Sending lots of smiles. So you've got lots of things to work with here, and you've got lots of tiny little things to add great details.
And on the back of the package, as you would expect, well, on the front also there's a little card, and then on the back there's a enlargement of that card, and then also another one. So the idea is layering, and you can do this so easily.
Well, let's just see how it looks.
Okay, here is our first card, and Debbie did this, and this is a great example of the layering.
Right, just keep adding on top of it. I have to say, when I first saw the stamp set, I didn't really think much of it. Okay, so a bunch of little stamps. There's a lot of them. That's cool. And then I saw this card that Debbie did, just adding and adding and making this great layering effect. And I want to show you how she did that. Okay, so what I have here is I have several Distress Oxide and Distress inks, a few of each, and lots of different colors. It's always great to have all of them. I like to
Why, of course you do.
I love these inks. But you start with just stamping some basic things here. So we've got some solid stamps of some, and using several different greens. We've got stems, we've got leaves, we've got flowers, and you just start stamping away. It gets to be, you know, it's pretty fun. You just want to add another flower. Okay, let's add a flower right here, wherever you want. And the next thing I want to do, well, I'd like to have a little color behind that flower. So I've got the squeezed lemonade, and I've got the solid flower here. So I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to take that right to the ink pad, a little easier. Line up my edges. It doesn't take much. And now I have a colored flower. And that's what's fun about these. You can stamp the separate elements, but then you can just fill them in. I'm going to do the same thing with those leaves there. I'm going to get the Distress Oxide Twisted Citron, take that right to the stamp this time, and you do get sort of a, you can see the effect there. It's sort of, that's something that's inherent to the Distress Oxide ink and the Distress inks.
Little modeling.
A little watery, but that's, I like that look. It's kind of a fun look. I'm trying to get on top of it so I can measure up, but I really don't even have to be too particular about it, and it fills it up really quickly.
Now there's something I really like on this card, if I can just pop in here, is that, and the thing that really sold me on it was taking some of the solid designs and stamping them in multiple areas as the background. So kind of letting that happen first, and then stamping with the either black or a color on the front of them as you got closer. And you can see a nice example of that in the grass at the bottom. You see the light green in the back, the dark green in the front, because it's more, you can see it clearer when it's closer.
Right.
So you can do that distancing.
Sure, that's right. That gives you perspective. You're getting layers, and that's what's fun about this. Put them wherever you want, and make it as simple or more advanced as you want. By not advanced, that's the wrong word for this, just as more involved, just add more. And I think once you start doing it, you start going, oh, I want another one. I want one here and here. Look, tiny little purple flowers everywhere. And these were actually stamped and then cut out and placed so you could get a little bit of depth.
Now the green circle holographic was used for the outside, and that just adds a nice pop. Very, very fresh, very lively card. Now here is a totally different look, and that's what I love is that you can get so many looks, especially if someone does it for you first. Don't you think?
Sure. So this one, you can just use Versamark, stamp all of those little images, and then dust them with embossing powder. I probably would do it a little bit at a time. You're just going to be working on that brown cardstock piece first. I would
just do a section.
Right, do a section, and then because if you stamp the whole thing in Versamark, by the time you got back here, it'd be dry and it wouldn't take the embossing powder.
Okay.
So stamp it, do the embossing powder, heat set it, and then keep doing it little sections at a time.
And I will say that metallic gold paper is a perfect complement to do the matting. It just is so lovely. And on the inside of this card, well, there's a smaller version of what you saw on the front.
Right.
Now notice on the front, the border is going along the fold of the card, whereas on the inside, it's coming up on the outside.
Opposite side.
Yeah. So just for you.
And really kind of an elegant card.
And something that I think you could use masculine too with that brown tone, should you like to. Now we've also gone into some tags. Now of course we've done a little bit easier. We've used our 10 tags and trims cutting die.
You can just cut that out, and you can go ahead and stamp that first and then do the cutting and use the cutting die to cut it out. But it's fun. You can add any kind of little elements that you want.
It's pretty to let these kind of curve in opposite directions. A little bit of stickles there, if you want to add that.
I love the little just for you matted and set off of the edge like that.
Isn't that cute?
That's a really cute look.
Look at this. This is very striking. Wow.
It is. So it's a fun. You've got like a color block. It sort of looks like it's been printed.
It does.
Just a block print in the background, and then just stamping with black on top of it. So you're going to do that background first, and then stamp that spray of flowers. And I want to show you. I'm going to show you how Debbie did that, and then I'm going to show you a different way to do it if you want to. It does get a little bit different for each look. So she started off with white cardstock, and she said she tore paper and just placed it around the edges. So if I were to do that, I'm using used paper here. Well,
good for you.
If I were to do that, I'm going to use my repositional adhesive to place that right where I want it and stick it down, and I'm going to do it all along. Oh, I'll do it this way. All along. Whoops. I moved it and got it on the table.
See, it's repositionable.
There we go. It is. It's repositioning on me. So go like that. Place your next piece, and you can go all around all 4 edges. When you do that, if I just show you briefly, when you do that, then you'll get this area here that's got these torn edges, and you can get out your pigment inks. And Debbie said she used a sponge to apply the pigment inks to the different areas. But I would just use it straight from this. And I know I'm doing it upside down, but I would just use it and go straight across and make your first line, your first color across like so. And then you can go to a little bit lighter color and add your second color there, and you sort of blend them where they meet. And that's basically what she did to create that nice sort of rainbow effect that goes across, and you can go ahead and blend them. But when you're done doing that whole thing, then when you lift these, you've got these great edges. Look at that. It just looks
that
like
works
a
really
printed
well.
block. So that is a really cool, that is a great way of doing it, and I would totally use that technique. But I also wanted to show you, if you didn't want to go to the work of masking off, which you can see is pretty simple, you could do this first and then just tear the edges all the way around, and you'll have a piece that's ready to go on your card, and you could put it right on white cardstock just like that and get a similar look, if you want to.
Nice to have. I really liked having that torn edge on the repositionable
I did
adhesive.
too. Right.
Now this card has something else going for it. It is an easel card.
Oh, fun.
And so look at that, and really kind of fun that we've got the horizontal rainbow and then vertical down at the bottom, but striking with those in black. And I love this collection, this bouquet that's been made.
It's just beautiful. So this is the middle of the rainbow, and this is coming down to the end of the rainbow where it hits the ground.
There you go. So beautifully done. I like the grass down at the bottom too.
So far this is a really fun, easy to use. I'm loving this stamp set.
And here is a beautiful, I love all the variety that we're getting with this one set. Now this little nosegay is wrapped in a triangle or
a little cone for holding it, and each of those pieces were stamped individually and then just cut out. And Susan actually colored them in with watercolor pencils. Really simple to do, and you know the package tells you how to do that. You can just, but you can see the gallery too. Just color them in a little bit, take a little wet paintbrush and sort of blend them if you want to, and that's fun. Stamp these in black. I thought that was a nice touch to leave those in black and cut those out.
So you can see the difference of this with the outline and these with the shadow, the solid stamps. And then you're going to show how to do that little...
I am. Okay. So it's a 3.5-inch square piece of the paper from the Buttercup collection.
Okay.
And I want to mention that Susan, what she did is she used this piece, but she backed it on one of the other papers. So if we show you, so that when you see those folded over pieces, she actually backed it on the pink paper because that's the look that she wanted. So you can do that, or you can use it because it's double-sided just like this, or pick one that you like the front and the back already. So I chose this one just to make it a little easier. And you start by putting this on point, this 3.5-inch square, marking halfway down at the top here and here, and then you're going to fold from one of those points down to the point at the bottom. So let me fold this one from this point down to the bottom, and like so, and then you fold the other one. So halfway and halfway gets you right to about there, and then all you have to do, I sort of messed up at the bottom. You can see that I didn't get it quite over there.
But you can fix that.
All the way over, sure.
There you go.
All the way over like so. And then you just fold these back, and she folded them right back to the edges of that cone.
I have to tell you, this is a technique that Susan developed years ago, and she first did it in her Paper Engineering Made Easy book, and so
she's done it ever since. I mean, it's a really fun look. I never get tired of it. I love that. And then you just start placing your little flowers in there.
And it's great to see. Just again, this is a beautiful look and one I've not seen before. Sending lots of smiles. And then on the inside, she's just got one there, and she's used, I believe, this is the Buttercup papers.
Right, so the papers sort of make that on there, but that
stunning.
black is, it's
just stunning.
Absolutely.
Absolutely great.
So Stamp a Garden with 39 stamps to do your stamping. These are just fun. It's a little bit like sitting around and doodling or coloring in a coloring book. It's just kind of just keep stamping, just keep stamping.
And so many looks, so many things that you can do with
Absolutely.
it. So we love this being our first day, and please join us tomorrow and every day this week as we bring you more from Hot Off the Press.
Sounds like fun.